Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jnanasmirandasya
Krishna Prabhuji.
Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ki Namaste Saraswati Gurmani Vicharine Janakshya Vati Prasthya Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasat Guru Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram.
सब बंद करके बैठ खोल के रखना आवाज नहीं जाती
We welcome everyone for this orientation of Bhakti Vaibhava, course online Bhakti Vaibhava orientation course that we are poised to launch from this weekend. So, in the interest of time, I won't drag the matters further. Without further ado, I'll start the whole program. So, as we all understand, the participants of Bhakti Vaibhav are all Bhakti Shastri graduates, and that's the bare minimum criteria for the Bhakti Vaibhav program. But before we get into the details of Bhakti Vaibhav program, the basic idea what Prabhupada wanted for his for us, the members of ISKCON, that he envisioned that the students, all of his disciples, as many as possible, should be like Brahmanas, and therefore Bhakti Shastri was the bare minimum rock bottom criteria for students, so that they are all like Brahmanas. Beyond this, you see, like maybe like Bhakti Shastri, there may be hundreds of devotees who are, and maybe thousands now, there are thousands, they are interested to take up Bhakti Shastri courses. Bhakti Vaibhav is like a more, becomes a little more lesser number of students who are really studious. Rukmani Harisevani Maji, Hare Krishna, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandatam.
Do you have admin rights?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So then, like, you can mute students for now, still until and unless like we need to speak, then you can open up the forum. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that is the basic idea of Bhakti Vaibhava. Basically, is those devotees who are now really systematically want to study Srimad Bhagavatam. That's like the basic criteria for Bhakti Vaibhava. Of course, there should be also must have undergone the Bhakti Shastri platform, and also Bhakti Vaibhava means like before Bhakti Vaibhava students should be ideally be initiated devotees, if not second initiated, should be at least first initiated devotees. Whereas Bhakti Shastri is like more like a beginner's program. So any devotee who is chanting 16 rounds following 4 decorative principle is welcome. So that is, having said that, Bhakti Prabhupada's letters, they do mention that how Prabhupada would want his sannyas disciples to be at least Bhakti Vaibhava students. So that's basic, like Prabhupada wanted it like that. So therefore, the Bhakti Vaibhava curriculum, which has been designed by the Board of Examinations, specifically the team, they have divided the Bhagavatam into 2 parts. The first 6 cantos being part of the Bhakti Vaibhava, and the next 6 cantos being part of the Bhakti Vedanta. So even in the Bhakti Vaibhava, we divide the Bhakti Vaibhava into 2 modules of 3 cantos each. First 3 cantos and next 3 cantos. It's basically like that. And the idea of dividing these cantos basically is based on the basic conception that the first 3 cantos of Bhakti Vaibhava can be like a more like a starter, because actually the first 3 cantos are relatively tougher. First 3 cantos are relatively tougher, and you'll find the next cantos are relatively a little bit like get a more breather. So the whole idea behind this is when Prabhupada is basically sorry, I got distracted. So Bhakti Vaibhava again is, which is like a precursor, as I was mentioning, to Bhakti Vedanta. So we won't give you the title or the like the same as you can understand, the same title of the founder Acharya that cheaply. So you have to really earn it. So that Bhakti Vaibhava being a precursor to that, it is really a bit of a task. The idea is that of the Bhakti Vaibhava preachers, there are some objectives. We intend that the Bhakti Vaibhava students must be able to, really present our philosophy, really have good knowledge, understanding of the philosophy, and can apply the philosophy, memorize the verses. They should be able to use the verses when it's required. The competence for like being a Bhagavatam speaker, that is also part of Bhakti Vaibhava. Therefore, that's how the assessment has been designed, so that we can ensure that the Bhakti Vaibhava students are competent in delivering Bhagavatam as part of their preaching, and also reflects in their basic personal behavior. So here in Bhakti Vaibhava, there will also be peer-to-peer assessments. Is also there, which basically Sometimes devotees are generally they encounter this question that should we judge devotees or not? So these are the platforms where we will be learning how to judge devotees, and the key for that kind of judgment is improvement. There's only one principle behind that, is improvement. So let's move on to the basic format of the course. The basic format is very similar to what you have encountered in Bhakti Shastri's study program. There are certain things which are certainly, it's like a step up to the Bhakti Shastri. So if we go to the handbook, you will all be having student handbooks, and you will see the student handbooks is divided into units, and each unit there is this Adhyay Kathasar, which is like the chapter overview for each Bhagavatam chapter. This is an advantage we generally do not get for the first 3 cantos of Bhagavatam. If you open the Bhagavatam cantos, you won't find any summary, chapter summaries. It's only from the 4th canto of Bhagavatam as Prabhupada introduced chapter summaries. So for the first 3 cantos, there are no chapter summaries, but then in the student handbook, you will find chapter summaries for every chapter, which we earnestly request you that you go ahead with them. Then, of course, those chapters are also divided into units. And the units are like basically, generally, they are like not more than 5 or 6 lessons per unit. That's the criteria for Board of Examinations, that each unit should not have more than 5 to 6 chapters. Hardly any unit will have more than 5 or 6 chapters. So these are like smaller chapters, that's how it has been divided. Somebody might be thinking like how this units are divided. The units are divided on the basis of chapters, and not more than 6 chapters per unit. So it can be less than that, but not more than that. Okay. And the idea is so that we can cover each unit, each chapter within a span of 2 to 3 hours. Okay, that means like if you have done your Purva Swadhyaya thing and have read the chapter summary, we should be able to cover and have more and more interaction discussions based on your study of the Bhagavatam. Okay, sometimes we might, depending upon the circumstance and availability, we might try to invite guest faculty or guest speaker who might give some additional presentation, or say, for example, a specific topic. Say, for example, Vedic cosmology. You might want to have a specific presentation on Vedic cosmology or things like that. So we might try to arrange such a presentation if, as and when such a situation arises. Then, as we understand, see this Bhakti Vaibhava, the minimum requirement for a student to basically pass the Bhakti Vaibhava degree, now diploma, I would say, is you must give a presentation, a total presentation written of 20,000 words. Okay, so that 20,000 words, that's why is there are different ways this can be divided. One of the ways which it is done is like after each unit, that means after each, say for example, your units are generally like in 2 weeks. That means every fortnight you have a closed book exam and you have got an open book assessment. and like which is like something close to 1,500 words. That's the idea. This is one way it can be done. There's another way which we like think would be easier for devotees online, is if we do the whole assessment rather than unit wise, we do collective assessments canto wise. So then each assessment, rather than having something like 26 to 28 assessments, closed book and open book, you might have 8 closed book assessments and similar 8 open book assessment. So what would you prefer? 24 assessments of smaller durations or 8 assessments of larger durations? Rukmesh Krishavanimaji, you can open the microphones for everybody to contribute. What would you prefer?
I guess smaller assessments would be fine. Smaller assessments would be fine.
Every 15 days you need you require an assessment. Okay. How many for smaller assessments? We are like 25 people out here. Eight. Okay. Now you can give more in chat boxes. Kindly go for either 8 or 24. You can write down based upon a raise of hands. Everybody. Param Karunama, okay, they should be able to unmute themselves. Why not they able to unmute? Should be able to unmute. No, there's nothing called 12. It's either 8 or it's 24 because you cannot break it otherwise like that. It's difficult to break it. This is like overwhelmingly. This is GKD. GKD must unmute your but mute yourself unless and until you have something to contribute. All right. So I find it's only longer assessments. It's not longer. It's basically the idea is like every 15 days, you might be giving an assessment. And in this case, like you might have an assessment because this course is going to run for around a year and a month or so, maybe maximum. So in that case, you might be giving assessments every 2 months, rather than having assessments every 2 weeks. That's the idea. That's the idea. It's like overwhelmingly, I only got only 2 people for 24 assessments.
So Prabhuji, won't that mean that if we are going for the longer assessment, then obviously we will have more course to study together for the longer ones? And if we go for the shorter ones, then we'll have less material to study.
That's a fact. That's of course a fact. That is a fact. Yes. See how it works. Let me explain how it works. Say, for example, you are writing 3 open book assessments of say for example 1,500 words per per OBA assessment. And as opposed to that, in this case, you might attempt only one question, the same amount of, like, say, for example, rather than writing 3 OBAs of 800 words each, say, for example, 3 OBAs of 800 words each, you might be writing 1 OBA of 2500 words. So the same topic you're expanding upon, as against like 3 questions of lesser volume. That's because the idea is like you must be tested for at least 20,000 words. So whichever way we divide it, either we divide the 20,000 words in 24 units, or we divide the 20,000 words in 8 units. So depending upon that. So this is like more to facilitate the like OBA, whereas just like in Bhakti Shastri, you generally wrote OBAs of 700-800 words each for each OBA question. Bhakti Vaibhava, we can test you for like longer OBAs. I mean, this smaller, not smaller, lesser number of questions. So that's one way of doing this. And so far the CBA is concerned, yeah, I haven't touched upon the CBA. See, CBA requires that you answer at least 200 like short questions. Okay, so if you are like answering, say, for example, 200 short questions, which again means like for a 24 unit program, you are answering at least 8 or 9 questions per unit. So if we do, instead of that, if we divide that thing in 8 units, so then you might be answering 30 questions per examination. So that's how it works. So you might be answering 30 questions, and for that, you might be preparing for, say for example, 50 to 60 questions plus analogies, whatever, like the total becomes like not more than 50 or 60 analogies included. So that's how you are gonna attempt the CBA if there's an 8-unit program. But if you do the 24-unit program, then for each CBA preparation, you will have to prepare for at least around 25 to 30 questions every 15 days. So that's like the choice we have. Priya Satyabhama Maji, did I make myself clear? You need any further clarity?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. Thank you so much. I think smaller is better.
Okay, so I mean, we just wanted to like you to know that there is no question of compromising on the criteria set by the BOEX, and yet it can be like made a little more achievable for devotees who are like kind of doing it online, on-site, because that's the only thing we do. In an on-site program, that's the only thing we do. So it is much more tougher. It's like we attempted in like we always in our times there was no question of online Bhakti Vaibhava. So it was far more tough. So so far the shlokas are also concerned. As Bhakti in Bhakti Shastri, there were like 45 verses to be tested. So in Bhakti Vaibhava, the quantity is Almost, not really double. Like for the entire Bhakti Vaibhav, module 1 and module 2 put together, you will be tested minimum 70 verses. 70. So that means per module, you have 35 verses, which is like lesser than what you encountered in your Bhakti Bhakti Shastri courses. So yeah, of course, some verses are longer verses, but that's like the challenge of Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. So Bhagavatam verses are little generally longer. So minimum 70 verses. In the 70 verses, during the module 2, you can also use 8 verses of your choice from Brahma Samhita as well. Okay, if you wish to like note them down, you can note them down. On module 2, that means when the Bhagavatam cantos 4 to 6 will be covered, you can memorize. You can also give 8 verses from the Brahma Samhita, and rest of the 27 balance verses will be from Bhagavatam. So that's the basic idea. So so far module 1 is concerned, you will be having the choice of verses from which you can choose 35 verses from Bhagavatam. Okay, that is the verses. Open book, as I said, that like the open book assessments per question, the response should be around 2,500 words per question. Okay. Next is yes, now comes something which is like a step up to the Bhakti Shastri in terms of Bhakti Vaibhava program. That is like we must have 4 oral presentations. Okay, 4 oral presentations. So oral presentations means 2 because we are now studying Bhagavatam, so we should be able to present Bhagavatam class. So all the students are supposed to deliver Bhagavatam class. So that's like a 45 minutes Bhagavatam class. In this case, it will be like online, and we will give you the criteria. The Bhagavatam classes, they will be having certain criteria which you must meet up those criteria, and 2 presentations, which is like PowerPoint presentations, which is like more interactive. Okay, so 2 traditional Bhagavatam classes and 2 on Bhagavatam, again based on the cantos covered. Say for example, in module 1, you must give 1 presentation on any topic between canto 1 and 3, and 1 Bhagavatam class based on any verse, or based on selection of verses which we will provide you, and you can choose from them and you can give a Bhagavatam class. Then again in module 2, you have 1 presentation of any topic from canto 4 to 6, Bhagavatam presentation, PowerPoint presentation, and 1 Bhagavatam class from the selection of verses that we will provide you. Okay, but these things we will do by the end of the module, so that you have got time and you also can choose. All right, questions? Otherwise, I will move ahead. All right, so then since there are no questions,
I have a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Will we be getting any modules or hand copies of the material?
Yes. Rukmini Hari Sevani Maji will be posting everything in your WhatsApp group. Of course,
Okay.
you'll get. Yeah. Of course, yes. How will you go otherwise? Must have. Okay. All right.
I was wondering, like, we'll be following the only Srimad Bhagavatam directly.
Yeah, we will, because Bhagavatam is the guidebook, but here, because since it's a course, so there new needs like some course outlines. Otherwise, how will you cover these things? So we'll get the student handbooks. We'll get your student handbooks. So Rukmini Harisevani Maji, I believe, should be supplying you the student handbooks right after this program. Okay. Now we are coming to grades. Okay. So there are nothing called grades, any gradation in awarding Bhakti Vaibhav, just like Bhakti Shastri, there are no gradations. So you will simply get a certificate on the completion of the entire Bhakti Vaibhav program from the Board of Examination, which means that only after the completion of all 6 cantos will you be awarded a Bhakti Vaibhav certificate. So although there are 2 modules, so there is no certification for like individual modules. Only after both the modules are completed will you be given a comprehensive certificate with mark sheets and everything. So let me see if I have left anything. Yes, this is important. So for reference, you might use the following books as references, which might be of help to you. I'm sending the references to, where is that group? Rukmini Harisevani Maji, what is the name of that group? I forgot the name of Bhakti Vaibhav, the
Bhakti
WhatsApp group.
Vaibhava. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Bhakti
23, 24. Okay, fine. So I'm sending you these references over here. Wait. Begins to power. This is 5 to 6. So maybe devotees would like to have a look on the WhatsApp. These are some of the books which might be used for references by Gurijan Prabhu. This is from VIH Publications and also Narayani Maji. Then this is Bhagavatam condensed, and you can also use Bhagavad Subodhini by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. So these are like valuable handbooks, valuable references, I'm sorry, which might be like of use to you while for writing your OBAs and understanding the subject matter better. And on the just like the student handbook for the Bhakti Shastri, even the student handbook for the Bhakti Vaibhava, you will find the list of the shlokas at the end of the student handbook, from which you can choose your 35 verses for module 1, and you can memorize them, and we shall inform you how you will be tested. Like for those devotees who are within Delhi, we might arrange shloka test in a venue, or those devotees who are from outside Delhi, we might have like we might arrange testing the verses online. Okay, so that's, I think I am more or less done with my presentation. Questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Go on.
Prabhuji, will they be provided the recordings of the classes, the sessions?
Sure. After like each unit is over, so we will do that. We cannot do after each class is difficult, because then, yeah, that will be very difficult for the administrator. So what we can do is after each unit is done, oh yeah, that also reminded me something very, very important. Regarding the schedule, let's go over the schedule. Otherwise I would have simply overlooked the schedule. This is something which is very important because that's gonna basically drive our course. Do I have yeah, I have screen sharing, right? All right. See, the schedule which I am showing to you and will be supplied to you right after this unit, this presentation is a tentative schedule. Okay. We hope that it doesn't change, but like there can be last minute changes based on the facilitators. Since like we tried to find the best of the facilitators. So it was not an easy task to like negotiate with the facilitators every time. So as we see that the classes will be held on weekends, and this will be like 3 hour. Let's go to the schedule, the criteria first. Okay. See the course duration, as I had said, it should be that this includes July 24 includes the presentations. The course might be finished by next Gaur Purnima, but the presentations might still go on for another couple of months. Okay. Saturday, Sundays are the days generally what we are gonna like hold these classes, and the duration will be 3 hours, which 10 minutes you might get in between break. Okay, so that's a 3 hour sessions. In some cases, the facilitators might ask for an additional day. In that case, it's gonna be Friday. In that case, it's going to be Friday. If the facilitator is asking for an additional day, it will be Friday. Okay. So as we decided on calendar, it will be canto wise 8 CBA tests. So which you will be shown there. Yeah, 62 plus 8 from Brahma Samhita. Okay, for the whole, which makes it 70. Wait. 70. Okay. So per unit we can give one OBA will be tested. That means there will be total 8, because third canto and fourth canto are divided into 2 units, not 1 unit. Okay, so since it's like very voluminous, so we have divided into 2 parts. Yeah, so we have already everything else we have mentioned here. So now let's have a look at the schedule. Say for example, for the first module schedule, which is like canto 1 to 3. We have tried to rope in Vanshivardhan Prabhu, who will be opening for us. We're followed by Prabhupada Priya Mataji for chapter 4 and 5, Narada's teachings to Vyasdev. Nitai Sivani Mataji has agreed for Krishna in Hastinapur, Dwarka, and Dhritarashtra quits home. Urmila Mataji somehow agreed. It was very difficult for us, but we have somehow got her permission to have chapter 6 and 7 for Urmila Mataji's Narada's teachings to Vyasadeva. Then we are, of course, this canto, as you see, is still blank, because Atul Krishna Prabhu pulled out from the last minute, and Atul Krishna Prabhu has instead taken another unit here from the third canto. We'll have Bharanga Darshan Prabhu for the Pandavas retire prediction, with which Bharanga Darshan Prabhu will be closing the first canto for us. which will be followed by the first CBA program for the entire first canto. Okay, so the CBA and the OBA dates will be the same. The final dates for submitting the OBS and the CBS will be the same. Second canto, it's not here, but most probably this is going to be a combination of Hari Leela Prabhu and Ananta Gaur Sundar Prabhu. Creation, we still have to finalize whether it's going to be Hari Leela Prabhu or it's going to be Prema Bhakti Ras Mataji. Then for the appearance of Varahadev, it is Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. And also for the Kardam Muni and Devahuti chapters, that is going to be Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. Okay. Then Kapil Siksha, the end will be like covered by Vanshivardhan Prabhu. We still have to finalize for part 1 of the Kapil Siksha, and that constitutes the first module of Bhakti Vaibhava. So now the second module of Bhakti Vaibhava, again, then we'll start with Atul Krishna Prabhu. Since we have got some time for it, we are still arranging for the suitable facilitators. Okay. So it's because the facilitators are like very competent facilitators are hard to find. So we sometimes have to adjust to their timings. Sometimes it's like Prabhupada Priya Mataji might adjust her timings because she will be teaching from Florida. So that might be those devotees who we can find in India. It is easier to have the 10 to 1 timings, but somebody is like, as we can understand, there is a time gap. So we might have to adjust. And in that case, administrators doesn't have much to say, because like either we get competent facilitators, or like we can like go with the same time schedule, but we might not find the best. So I request the students to bear with us in this regard, because like any case, like when we used to do the the on-site program requires a lot more sacrifice from the part of the students. Online program doesn't require so much sacrifice on the part of the students. So these kind of courses, basically the course is nothing but another limb of devotional service, is Shravan Kirtan. So the students, if they are prepared to undergo certain amount of pain, certain amount of sacrifice, we are sure to gain something substantial in our Krishna consciousness. Questions?
Prabhuji, can I ask you questions?
Go ahead.
My first question is that it seems that after 4 and 5, we are doing 10 to 13 chapters, and we are coming back to other chapters later.
Oh, yeah.
This
That's
is
a
one.
fact.
And then second, my question is that, you said the recordings would be available at the end of the unit. And if somebody misses a class in between, then it kind of becomes difficult to, understand the rest of the stuff later. So if we give them the recordings after the unit is over, it is not really good.
Yeah, that's a fact. That point being made. Thank you, Sitaranimaji, for bringing that. I will answer your second question first. That says like the classes are basically what we are recording, and we are giving the recording for the sake of so that they can always review those classes. The recording is not being done as in lieu for the absence of the class. So certainly if somebody misses a class, that's a mess. So, I mean, what do you expect? So the classes are being given just to so that they can review them, and they can join some dots if that wherever it is required. But certainly the recordings are not in lieu of their missed classes in that sense, because it is difficult either this way or even the other way. Like, we don't want to give students a kind of a leeway that anybody can skip any class, and so that the recording is there. And so, I mean, this is not exactly a recorded session going on, this is a live session going on. So, and we expect the students to take part in it. And if that's not possible for some reason, we can, this is what we can do as of now. Tactically also, because it takes time after you record the sessions, then the session, as like those who are familiar with the workings of the Zoom, they must know that the whole session is then recorded, then it has to be stored somewhere, then it has to be uploaded at a place. All of that requires time, and in some places the recordings might be voluminous, and we might have to use a software to bring down the like the MBs or the GBs, whatever the case is. So all of that requires time and effort from the part of the administrator. So your administrator for this course also, along with us for day-to-day management is Grace Rukmini Harisevani Mataji, who is also a student who has volunteered to do this service. So those things are really strenuous, I would say. Now, coming back to your first question, yes, the Dhritarashtra and Hastinapur chapters of Nitai Sevani Mataji, that it's coming first because of our availability. As I said, something like this, like the schedule what you have at hand is after like at least 6 or 7 changes. So this is the best we could bring. She didn't have the time like when it naturally was supposed to be. So, but at the same time, she chose these chapters since she feels that she can do justice with these chapters. So that's the reason we have got chapter 10 to 13 before we have got Narada's teachings. I'm not sure whether I could satisfy you fully, but that's what the answer is.
No, thank you. But maybe I'll talk to you personally about certain
Yeah,
things.
why not?
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Other questions, comments, thoughts?
Praji, I have one question. Did we
Go ahead.
discuss about the value for the CBA exams? Is it like those who are living in Delhi, they have to give in their centers, respective centers, or how come, Praji?
Yeah, let's that is like still to be decided whether we are going to do the whole thing online, or for a few devotees they can come on site while the rest of the devotees can do it online. So we will have to decide. We still have to decide on that. That requires, because it's not immediately, that was not our immediate concern. So like, yeah, we still have got some time before we can come up with that. I understand that having an online CBA is far easier. However, at the same time, invigilation becomes a little more challenging in terms of online CBA exams. So we will discuss that and we'll get back to you what like a form finally. Certainly there will be an online element because those devotees who are not from Delhi, they cannot commute for each time for an CBA exams, that's understood. So like how much that's gonna be, so we will certainly relate it back to you once we are done with it. Other questions? What is the final assessment, smaller or longer? There is nothing called final assessment. All the assessments will be of similar duration. The final assessment is not an assessment, there's like presentations, and in those presentations there will be both assessment by the facilitator and also assessment by the peers. So there will be both peer-to-peer and teachers assessment as part of the presentations. But so far this,
I mean to ask is, are we like going for the longer assessments, which is 8 in number, or we are going for smaller assessments? That's what I wanted to ask you. Are we going for 8 in number or 25 in number?
oh, that this overwhelming majority is for like 8. So I don't know, like you tell us.
I voted for smaller.
You voted for smaller, that means like 24 assessments.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, since I understand that we just broke the news to you, and as of now, as I can see, it is like already 8. It's like 8 is like overwhelmingly more than like, okay, let me count how many of them are smaller. And 1, 2, 3. This is now what, 24, 24. Daru Krishna, Deepak Taneja, 24. Let me count up. Okay, Daru Krishna Prabhu switched sides from 8 to 24. All right. Rastaman Prabhu, smaller and frequent. All right. Oh, it seems that 24 is gradually gaining ground. All right. If that is the case, so be it. Okay, let's it's becoming a little, okay, it's coming close. There might be a tie, who knows. So we still have got at least 2 weeks to decide upon that. Let's give a final day as by 18th of March. Okay, all the devotees can submit their opinion whether they want to have smaller assessments of 24 assessments or longer assessments of 8 assessments to Rukmini Harisevani Mataji, and we will calculate and we will see whatever the majority is, will go with the majority. Okay, is that fine? So you people can make up your minds, because I see some devotees like now changing, so which is very much possible. Some devotees might want to like cross over from this to that or that to this. So by 18th of March, please submit your opinion to Rukmini Harisevani Mataji, and we will arrange accordingly.
Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have a question. I have a
ahead.
comment. First of all, thank you, Prabhuji, for arranging this program. Very grateful that after such a long time this is happening.
Thank you.
And there's a series of very good teachers for us. So thank you so much. My question is, in fact, just one point of suggestion is that I do understand that we would like students not to miss classes. So sometimes recording can motivate, or let's say give a easy way out to people to miss classes. So I think that can be also checked through attendance. So last time in Bhakti Shastri, we had very strong attendance system. On the other hand, as far as recording is concerned, there is also a very simple way to record sessions, which happens very seamlessly, which is that if we just do a live, so each time we start the recording, the person just has to click on the live button and it gets automatically uploaded on YouTube. So there is no extra payment for that. You just have to live the class.
Yes,
That's
yes.
all. So that may be easy for the administrator to do. It just takes maybe 2 extra minutes to do it. Just as soon as you record, you can live it.
Yes. So there are maybe some technical things which I am like lacking in, but yeah, kindly fill us in if that can be helped. Why not? Maybe I'm pretty sure Rukmini Harisevani Maji is taking note of that, and yeah, we can go YouTube live. We don't.
And alongside, Prabhuji, we can keep a track of attendance so that we all are motivated. I mean, I also would like to be tracked, because sometimes you may get on the other side. So that's okay to track, but I think recordings could be really helpful, because sometimes we also want to go back to one session again. If it's a technical session, you like
Fair
to
enough.
go back again.
Fair enough. So
So-
if we can, the idea is not to like withhold the recordings. The idea is to just give some room and space for the administrator. But if that can be done, as you said, if there's a easier way of doing that, why not?
Yes.
We are there to
Prabhuji,
facilitate you.
And Prabhuji, one more question I had. So, how should we work on our readings alongside doing this program? So, can you also guide us from your experience? How should we time our readings to give a better contribution to this program?
See, that's a good question, and that's why I was like, I just touched upon that, the reference part and the chapter summary parts. Those are the best things. Like, you always go. I mean, see, Bhakti Vaibhava program, it in a sense like presumes that you have undergone all the 6 cantos of Bhagavatam. It presumes that. Unless and until somebody is like starting to read Srimad Bhagavatam with Bhakti Vaibhava, which generally is not the case. Bhakti Vaibhava is not to actually quote unquote teach Bhagavatam all 6 cantos, but it's have to have more discussions on whatever the readings are already one have already undergone. So it's like a kind of a step up in that sense. So but one of the best things, what I mean, presuming that the reading has been made, initial reading of Bhagavatam has been done, what now next you can do is preferable is to go with the chapter summaries in the student handbook. Always go through the chapter summaries and the Purva Swadhyaya questions. If you have done the chapter summary and the Purva Swadhyaya question, you are equipped for the class. So then you can come and then you can certainly have discussions, and you will see there are discussion topics. Let me show you. Wait. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, here. Screen share. See, just like here, there might be discussion topics. In many cases, there are, wait. You'll find discussion topics like this. So these are the things which needs to be like covered in the class. Generally, these are what the like the facilitator will be focusing upon. So if you know these specific verses, and in the specific verses, go for this concept. These are basically concepts. So these concepts are the ones which those particular verses highlight. So if you, after you have done the, see, just like this, you see, this is the chapter overview, say for example. So just read these chapter overviews. Once you're done with the chapter overview, and you have done with the here the Purva Swadhyaya questions. This is what you are already done with. Then you can come back to the discussion topics, what this is. That's all. And mostly simply by like glancing over the verse and the translation, you should be able to figure it out. And then you are like kind of equipped for the class. And this is what the Bhakti Vaibhava basically is focusing on. This is what we want you to know. So that's the basic idea.
Understood, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Other questions?
What is the passing criteria?
Oh, it's more or less the same as the Bhakti Shastri. It was the more or less the assessment criteria is more or less the same, but still, yeah, we can go over that. See, the open book questions, they should have something between like 40% for the open book assessment questions, around the same 40% for CBA questions in this case, okay? Because yeah, CBA questions, and 20% will be there for the wait. I lost something. Wait. Yeah, Yeah, this is different. This is different. Between 25 to 40% will be the open book questions, like weightage. Between 30 to 40% will be the closed book range. And between 20 to 25, that closed book also includes the shlokas in this case. They also include the shlokas. And the oral presentation, that's why I said wait, like I went back, because the oral presentations, this 4 presentations, 2 Bhagavatam presentation and 2 presentation, Bhagavatam classes and 2 presentations based on Bhagavatam, they should carry somewhere between 20% to 35% weightage. Okay, so that is one additional criteria that will factor in. So CBA and shlokas have been combined to give you a range between 30 to 40%. And the open book will have 25 to 40%, between 25 to 40% range. And the oral presentations, they will be somewhere between 20% to 35%. Right? Is it all right?
ये कौन बताएगा गार्ड कहाँ है कभी शेष टू
All right, so if you don't have any further queries and questions, I think we can call it a day. And let's pray to Srimad Bhagavatam that by the mercy of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam, what Prabhupada envisioned for these courses. That's up. All right, so then we will meet again on 12th of March for our first
12th of March?
Yes, 12th. Today is what? Today is 10th, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's 12th. It's starting from 12th, right? We're starting from 12th, yeah. 12th, and then we will go to 18th. Okay, because that's just like Vanshivardhan Prabhu's criteria. He was not available tomorrow. So we'll start from Sunday and then we'll carry it from there. Yeah. Thank you. That's Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.